In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this rocket launch animation in Blender. So first get your model of a rocket. You can actually download this. The link is in the description. And if we're going to do a smoke simulation, this is a bit too big. So we're actually going to scale it down. And for the scale, 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. So it's 0.2 the size of it was originally. Now it's a lot better. So now we can keyframe it. Go to frame 5 and add a keyframe. Go to frame 100 and then move it up. About there is good. Add another keyframe. Go to frame 180 and add one more keyframe. And it should look like this. So now we're going to position our camera. Lock camera to view, and then move the camera back until the rocket is slightly above the camera on frame 180. Move the end frame to 200 because we only need 200 frames. It's going to be a 200 frame animation. So now go to frame 30 when the rocket's up a little bit. And now you can Shift A and add a UV sphere. Scale it down, bring it up. Put it about there. And then pair it to the rocket so it stays with the rocket. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the camera view and make sure you have the sphere selected and go Object, Quick Effects, Quick Smoke to make a smoke domain. And then just bring the top up. You're going to want it to be about there. Now we're going to go to the smoke settings and we're going to put the resolution divisions to 150. You're going to click adaptive domain and noise. And now you're going to go to the sphere and you're going to put flow type fire and smoke. And you're going to click initial velocity. Now we're going to put the end frame on the smoke domain to 200 instead of 250 because the animation is only 200 frames long, and we're going to put from type replay to type all. And now we're going to Shift A, go to force field and add a wind force. Now RY 180 to flip the force upside down. That will make the smoke go down. So now add a turbulence and put the strength to 0.2. And now you're gonna go make all. In fact, I'm gonna make this resolution divisions 180 because I'd prefer it to be a better simulation, a higher quality one. Now you're gonna press bake all. This should take about a minute. Okay, so now that the simulation is done, it should look something like this. That looks pretty good. Now we're gonna do one more bake. Gonna free all and put it to 260. This is really high resolution divisions. If your computer is really slow, I would recommend only going up to 220. This should take a little longer. Okay, so now that it's done, it should look something like this. That looks pretty good. So now that we have the actual going up part of the simulation, now we can focus on the bottom part of the simulation. For the bottom part of the simulation, we won't really need the wind and the turbulence. Also, the sphere, it will interact with the bottom smoke domain, and we don't want that, so we're also going to delete it. Won't really need it later. Now, add a plane, scale it up, and add a collision modifier to the plane. Now, add a cylinder and bring it up a bit. About there, scale it down on the z-axis. And now, go to tab, into edit mode, and delete the top and bottom faces. So now you have a ring. Scale it down a little more like that, and add a particle system. Put the number to about 2000. Put the end frame to 5. Put the lifetime to 15 and turn up the lifetime randomness. Put the normal velocity to 7 and put the randomized to about 2. And it should look something like this. In fact, let's bring it down a little bit more. That's better. Scale it down the axis a bit. That's good. So now we're going to go object, quick effects, quick smoke, scale it down, about there. That's good. Bring it down and scale it that way. You're gonna see how far it goes. About that's good. Now we're gonna go to the settings and put the resolution divisions to 160. Make sure you turn on adaptive domain and noise. And put the end frame to 200. Put from type replay to type all so you can bake it. Now go to the cylinder. Put from flow type from smoke to fire and smoke. And with the flow source, particle system. And particle system to particle system. Make sure you click initial velocity. And now, make sure, this is really important, you put the sampling substeps to 4. So, because the particles are moving really fast, we don't want parts of the particles to not be baked, which can happen if you don't have sampling substeps and your particles are moving really fast. Now we're going to go back to the smoke domain, and we're going to go here to the field weights, and we're going to put the gravity to about 0.1. You don't have to be exact. And now if you go up here under gas, the buoyancy density, you can put it to 0.1 because we don't want this to rise. We want it to stay down on the ground. And now you're going to press bake all. Okay, so now the baking is done and it should look something like this. And if we go to frame 200, see that it, because we made the smoke really dense and not that buoyant, it doesn't rise up all the way. And that's good. So now we texture the smoke. We're gonna hide this really quick because it doesn't really contrast well with the smoke. We're gonna go in rendered view. Gonna delete this and add a sun lamp. Right now we're on EV render engine and we don't really want that. We're gonna go in cycles. Much better. Like that. fact, let's put the sun lamp to 2. Maybe 3. 3 is good. So now that we're done with both smoke simulations, we can move on to texturing them. Open up a new tab and put it to shader editor. Make sure you have the smoke domain selected and put the density to 75. Make sure you have it rendered. Put the black body intensity all the way up and put the temperature 10,000. It's going to be really bright and it's going to be white. So you're going to want to change the black body tint to a really reddish orange because it's going to be so bright that it's going to look more yellowish. So now that we have that textured, go to the bottom part and do the same thing. Density is 75. Black body intensity all the way up. Temperature 10,000. And black body tint reddish orange. You can see this when at the beginning of the simulation. You can see that it's really bright, 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 and then it stops. That's how you make a rocket in Blender. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.